Hey guys, welcome back, and today we have Broadway grosses, so let's get into it. Up first, we have & Juliet, which performed this week to 1,274,280 in its overall gross, and a capacity of 100% versus last week's 94% capacity. And the average ticket did go up considerably. And again, what has not been said about & Juliet that I haven't already said? This show is a success. Next topic. A Beautiful Noise went from 67% last week to 73% this week, going from 843,922 last week to 842,335 this week. These aren't amazing numbers. I think this is the lowest A Beautiful Noise can go. I'm not sure how this is gonna do like in the fall and in the summer. I think we'll do slightly better in the summer, but I think what will be the real like deciding factor on if this show closes in 2023 or next year, or goes on for 3 years, is how it goes into the fall and how it maintains its numbers. Because again, the summer could give it a big boost, but it definitely is not doing the business it was doing when it first opened, which for the investors is pretty disappointing. This is the type of show that doesn't need to make 1,400,000 a week. So while these numbers are not amazing, and this definitely is not what you could call good, it definitely is not a death nail to the show. Bad Cinderella went from 592,938 last week to 642,196 this week, going from 88% capacity to 89% capacity. And again, the average ticket was extremely low at only $73 versus last week's $68 average ticket. And again, this show is not doing very well. A show that has this cast, this size, these numbers are really bad, to put it bluntly, and I don't see how this show will make it out of even like June even. I think this is going to be a big flop. And if that average ticket price was higher, you might think that, I think that attendance would probably go down. If they have a ticket price of $73, and they're still getting that low capacity, that doesn't bode well for the show, and everyone that I've heard has said that this show is bad. So it does live up to the title in that sense. But yeah, man, I think Bad Cinderella is going to flop hard, especially when the reviews come out. Bob Fosse's Dancin' went from 82% last week to 90% this week, going from 415,251 to 564,506. And last week it had 6 performances, and this week it had 7. And how this show is still doing better than Bad Cinderella, I have no idea. Still don't think it's gonna have a good, successful run on the Broadway, but it might outlast Cinderella. Camelot went from 94.99 last week to 90.20 this week for 7 performances, and last week they had 3, I believe. So it went from 486,692 to 741,343. Funny Girl, and I think Leah Michelle was out this week, went from 1,850,558 to this week's 1,264,772, going from 95% to 85%. But again, the fact that it's still doing these gangbuster numbers even when Leah isn't in the show is pretty cool. Hadestown had its best week ever, super surprising, although I wonder if this is because of spring break, but it went from 799,277 to 912,168 and 99% capacity to 100% capacity, with a huge increase in average ticket. I'm gonna catch my breath. Now again, I still think Hadestown will close this year, and Sweaty Oracle actually posted a TikTok where he said that there is a show that is thinking about coming in to the Walter Kerr. Now, if it can do 920 and it can stay in the average ticket of 120, this show will be fine and will last until next year. However, this might just be a blimp because of spring break, so I wouldn't get your hopes up too high, and my expectation that this show will close either this year or in January of next year still stands tall. Harry Potter had a huge jump from 1,206,165 to 1,627,458, going from 85% to 99%. Although the average ticket is $126, and with how expensive that show is, they definitely are underperforming in terms of business. I mean, they're successful and they're not going anywhere, but I mean, I'd be pretty disappointed if I had a show called Harry Potter and I couldn't sell an average ticket for higher than 140. I mean, that's pretty low. Kimberly Akimbo had a slight increase, going from 86% to 96%, going from $483,378 to $515,000 overall, and that show is in desperate need of some Tony love. Moulin Rouge had one of its best weeks since before COVID, going from $1,400,000 to $1,567,260, going from 99% to 100%. And Aaron Tveit seems to have brought back ticket sales, and for a show like this, these are the kind of numbers it needs to do. If Moulin Rouge was to do 200, 300, 400, that's its golden era. Anything below that is a little bit risky. This show can't even go past 900K. Even at 900,000, it could be in trouble. Because if you've seen the show, you know how expensive it is to run with royalties, the set. I mean, this show needs to be making exorbitant amount of money. And again, can it sustain 900,000 for a little bit? Yeah, 100%. And is low millions bad? Not necessarily. But it would definitely get a little bit of sweat on my brow if I was a producer, and that's the trend that it was going in the fall. But I'm glad it is kind of going back to its business that it was doing beforehand. And they don't have all of that. They've wasted like 3.5 years of time, or 2.5 years of time without any shows. So they kind of can't be doing low millions. You know, if the show continued running, the low millions would be more acceptable. But now it's not. And luckily it is now going back into the range that it kind of needs to be in, and I'm very happy, because even though I wasn't a huge fan of the show, I think it does deserve to be on Broadway. Good old Shirked went from 99% to 100% for 7 performances, and 291,972 to 456,719 with an average ticket of $55. And again, their strategy is that low ticket prices, more people will come in, good word of mouth. But having seen the show personally, I think Shucked is that type of show that we've all seen before. I'm looking at you, Tootsie, I'm looking at you, Doubtfire. Shucked is very much like those shows. And we all know that those shows don't succeed on Broadway nowadays, and I think once that average ticket goes up, I don't think the audience is going to be there, and maybe they will be there, but I don't think word of mouth is going to be great on this show. Having seen this show, I just don't think this show is going to succeed. I think it will make it to June, but I think that an August, September closing is very much in its future, and there's no way that it makes it to next year. Let's put it bluntly. And watch. Because what's going to happen is the average ticket will go up, it will do good for a week, and then buzz around, it won't be so amazing, it will kind of do lackluster numbers, maybe 500,000, 600,000, you know, and there'll be a little bit of promise because they're going to have Best Musical. But once we hit July, August, I see this doing 400, 300, 500K. I highly doubt this even gets to 700K, which is what it would need to get to be successful. So, again, I don't hate on this show, I don't wish its demise, this is just how Broadway works, and I can't have a valid opinion because I've seen the show and I've seen shows like this. I know what kind of shows these are, and they just don't work. Trust me, people. Trust me when I say this. Beetlejuice, Strange Loop. I predicted these shows would close months before they did, and they did. And I gave reasons why, and I'm giving you reasons why. And I think I have a pretty valid track record. So trust me when I say Shucked is a done deal flop. Just like Bad Cinderella is. And time will prove me right. And if it doesn't, I'm glad, because I don't want an original musical to fail. Even though I don't think it's that good. 6 went from $1 million to $1,157,324, going from 96% capacity to 100%. Some Like It Hot had its best week ever, going from 772,567 to 971,410, and 70% capacity last week to 87% capacity this week. And again, the fact that this is its best week now is pretty disappointing and pretty underwhelming. And again, I don't think the show is going to last, but I think it will make it to maybe January or December. I definitely would bet more money on this show lasting longer than Shucked. But again, the fact that this show has not reached the $1 million mark is underwhelming. It's disappointing. And it's not going to win Best Musical. So I think this is another show that we've all seen these types of shows before, and they just don't work. Sweeney Todd and Josh Groban was out, so it did kind of decrease. Went from 100% to 94%. In 7 performances, going from 1,805,510 to 1,679,000, which is just a crazy amount of money. And The Phantom had $3 million in the bank, man. It's ending off strong. Going from 2,740,311 to $3 million and 101% capacity. Wicked and Lion King also managed to make $2 million, and the Book of Mormon made $1 million as well. Overall, Broadway is doing very strong. Very happy that the spring break has brought fruits to a lot of these shows. And again, I think that Bad Cinderella, Shocked, Dancing, and Some Like It Hot are guaranteed not gonna be here next year. And if I had to place my bets on what would last the longest, I'm going with Some Like It Hot. And then probably Bad Cinderella, maybe. But yeah, just trust me, these 4 shows are not doing well at the box office, and that's all you need to know. Simply, they are not doing what they should be doing, and once those average ticket prices go up, it's not gonna do well. I can guarantee you that it will not do well. I also forgot Parade, which performed to $1 million, but had 3 performances and 101% capacity, going from 861,707 last week. And again, very happy that Parade is doing so well. And Parade is a show that, you know, can easily stay in the 800K, 900K range and be fine. And even though it's limited engagement, so it doesn't really matter. If it stayed in those numbers, it could run for years. Of course, $1 million is, you know, preferable, but this show isn't expensive. And I mean, it is semi-expensive, but it's not like Moulin Rouge, Bad Cinderella expensive. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the grosses. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment. Thank you for all the recent support. 420 subscribers. I'm very happy, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.